Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
So how do you usually practice to playing a keyboard?
I usually practice with my teacher in my home.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our MTsB channel.
Kita nih cakep. So, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Shafira and my partner is...
I'm Sherly Amalia and we are from 8.4. So, Shafira, what will we talk about today? And is the topic will be interesting for us?
Of course, the topic today will be very interesting for us to discuss it. So, the topic is preventing juvenile delinquency.
Wow, I hope this topic will help many teenagers to learn more about this topic.
Yeah, I hope so. So, Sherly, what do you think about juvenile delinquency?
In my opinion, juvenile delinquency is a bad action of teenagers who are violates social norms and disturb public order. We often see it in our environment, like there's so many problems that caused by teenagers.
Yeah, that's true. Even strongly, some people think that juvenile delinquency is normal thing because it's during up to signs that we have emotional level and hormonal imbalance during puberty. But still, somehow we must try as much as possible to prevent it.
That's true, because if this juvenile delinquency always considered trivial, it will have bad consequences later. Even though we in our teens that we are very need and direction to stay away from bad action and always try to apply a good habit in our own life. But Shafira, in your opinion, how to properly prevent this juvenile delinquency?
Preventing juvenile delinquency requires support from various parties. One of it is parents and teachers around us. Parents have to start imposing rules on consequence on teenagers to practice being responsible for what they have done, so that they will be encouraged to try to follow the existing rules so that they cannot harm themselves with the consequence that they have done.
Apart from that, um, uh, the older people around of teenagers also have to pay attention and then spend time with teenagers for just talk together or maybe sharing stories with each other so that the teenagers will not choose to express their emotion in a form of mischief that they do around them. And then they do around them. I think that's
And this is the role of parents in accompanying teenagers at puberty, because many of them commit juvenile delinquency just to get attention that they didn't get before, but the method that they used was wrong.
Therefore, collaboration between parents and teenagers very need. Like the parents must be able to handle all the action of teenagers who are wrong or not wisely without any verbal or non-verbal violence. However, we as teenagers also must have a high self-awareness to preventing this delinquency in a young age.
Yeah, because self-awareness are indeed the key to the activity that we will carry out. Because with awareness of ourselves, it will make easier for doing something, especially like when we think this action is bad, so we can hold ourselves from falling into bad things.
That's true. Therefore, in carrying out this prevention, um, the youth must understand the various impact of this juvenile delinquency, which can be detrimental to us, so that the teenagers also have the desire to avoid it. But do you know that youth courage was very neat in this case?
Yeah. You mean the third of teenager that always doing up doing juvenile delinquency, right?
Yes, because not uncommon we see there's so many teenagers who are not want to leave their circle of friends that even though they know that the circle of friends was very bad and will have a bad impact too for their character or maybe attitude they have in the future.
Usually because because usually they are afraid to carry out from their comfort zone and think that they will be no longer to present their action in their circle. So this is one reason why there are still many teenagers survive even in bad environment.
I think that's one of the reason why we always advise to think well of anyone and wherever we are for a bright future.
Yeah, it's like that. And may I ask you? May I ask you?
Yes, of
And
course.
what is your way to avoid juvenile delinquency?
If me, I always started from a small thing that I can do around my environment. Start like I'm always try to avoid or maybe leave my circle of friends that I think that's toxic or maybe have a bad impact for my character or attitude that I will have in the future. And then I will learn more about this topic so I can keep myself from the dangers of this delinquency. And I try to improve or increase my self-awareness about this juvenile delinquency, and it very helped me to think more about what will I do in the future and what will consequences that I get after it do it.
And maybe I have done in the first is obey the rules of school. Maybe it's one of things that always underestimated by teenager because they already think I didn't need rule. Even though this rule will help you in the future, like these rules can make you more disciplined and more make you be a success people in the future. And the second, maybe I can do in the difference between friendship, then friendship must be avoided because many of teenagers join a bad circle because they think if I follow this circle I will be famous or the action from this circle is very cool. And the third is not concerned with style because many of teenagers is join a bad circle because they think the action from this circle is very cool even though this circle can detrimental to society. So I mean it's better use our time for doing things that give many good impact in the future, like we can improve our skill or we can improvement explore something that be better than before. Yeah, that's all from me.
Wow, I agree with you. I hope our way to prevent this juvenile delinquency can help many teenagers who want to more aware for this topic. And I
Yeah,
hope it will make many teenagers learn more about the dangers of this juvenile delinquency. I
yeah,
think
I
that's
hope so. That's all for me. Maybe the last I say, I'm sorry there are many mistakes.
Assalamualaikum
Wassalamualaikum
warahmatullahi
warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
wabarakatuh.